Hey everybody, my name is Cat Margulis and I'm the host of The Future of Content Marketing. And today I am honored to have with me Derral Eves. Derral has been on YouTube since 2005 and has helped generate nearly 89 billion video views. His book, The YouTube Formula, How Anyone Can Unlock the Algorithm to Drive Views, Build an Audience, and Grow Revenue, is a Wall Street Journal bestseller. He was featured on the Forbes list 20 must-watch YouTube channels that will change your business, alongside Tony Robbins, Forleo, and Gary Vaynerchuk. Derral is founder of Creatus, a marketing and consulting company, and founder of VidSummit, an annual video conference. He's also executive producer of The Chosen, a series about the life of Jesus Christ and his followers. It is the #1 crowdfunded TV movie project in history. Derral, thank you so much for being part of the future of content marketing.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Thank you. I am blown away by you. Your bio is astounding. You get to write a book one day, and I can't wait to read it when it comes out. But we'll kick off talking about
it's already out.
First. Yes, that book. I'm talking about your life story. Your life story is also incredible. Yes, the memoir. I can't wait. Yeah. It's really, really inspiring. But let's start with YouTube. What is it about YouTube anyway? Why is YouTube and video so powerful when it comes to turning ordinary people into stars?
Yeah, I think there's something about humans and we love to connect, and there's different ways to connect. And I think it speaks to people differently. There's the written form, there's the audio form, and then there's the audio with video form that you're able to really connect deeper. And I think, as the radio kind of transitioned into TV, and then TV into online videos, and then now we have these powerful video capturing devices in our pocket, I think we're able to capture humanity differently and really connect on a deeper level. And we've all understand, when you really want to impact someone, face-to-face or in person is the best way. Well, the second best way would be, through video form. And I think, as humans, we have a desire to connect, especially when we feel isolated. We want to connect with a community and content that speaks to us and helps us understand our individuality. And I think that's what video does very consistently across the board.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. With new platforms coming up that are offering opportunities to connect by video, do you ever see YouTube going away? Is there another platform that's threatening its reign? Is it possible something like TikTok could replace or edge it out?
So YouTube's really mature right now, and to edge out YouTube's difficult. And let me kind of explain why. The first thing that YouTube did was they actually was a dating website. I don't know if you knew this, but they started as a dating website, and they realized that nobody was uploading videos for dating, but they're uploading videos for their cat or their snowboarding adventure or whatever. And so they actually started to weigh in to, create an opportunity for anyone to broadcast themselves. So that's how they started. But the reason why they are here today was because they realized that they were just a platform and they couldn't create content on their own. They needed the creator to create content. So we need to incentivize them. And back in 2007 is when they started to incentivize creators by sharing the revenue with creators. So, hey, you can make money if you upload videos. And so you can actually create businesses that weren't necessarily established. And two, as you bring value in, we'll share in the profits. So that's when it transformed. And for me, that's why I believe YouTube's not going anywhere, is because of that opportunity where you're able to make, 7, sometimes 8 figures because of YouTube. And you do it in a way where anyone can do it. Anyone can pick up a phone and connect with an audience and go from there. Now, there's other, platforms like TikTok. I'm a huge fan of TikTok. I love the vertical content. I engage with it, but I don't really follow anyone. I just go to my For You page, and yes, there's big followers, but they got to pump out content to be in front of people. And where YouTube's whole existence is to predict what the viewer wants to watch and keep them on the platform longer. But it's our nature to, it's more of a community there than it is just an individual video. And so I think that if there's anyone listening that wants to compete with YouTube, and there have been some really big platforms do it, like Facebook, you have to share with the revenue. And that's what Facebook's doing. And now Instagram, because they're owned by Facebook, and Snapchat, and so on and so forth. Now there's opportunities to start doing that. But ultimately, you got to go where the people are at too, because if it's really lucrative on YouTube, why would you go anywhere else?
Yeah.
You might have a plan everywhere else, but maybe that's your foundation, that's your hub, that's your way to communicate.
Yeah, love it. Is what makes a video or channel successful on TikTok the same as on YouTube?
Well, let's take a step back. I know I'm known as the YouTube guy, but realistically, I'm the online video guy. And regardless of where the video's at, I think you need to understand how are they viewing your video, or how will they view their video. On TikTok, it's a swipe up. So it's like that swipe up is really, really important of capturing their attention and pulling them into the video, regardless of what the value proposition is. You got to capture their attention and pull them into the content. And then to really trigger TikTok is getting them to watch it again. So it's like, how are you leveraging that? Is the payoff like so amazing that they have to see it again because they can't rewind? They have to just watch it again. Well, if they do that, that triggers the algorithm to, go out to more people that would engage with that type of content. On YouTube, YouTube actually has a feature called YouTube Shorts because they got afraid of TikTok, what they should be. If you want to stay ahead, you always need to really create that same experience. And YouTube Shorts does the same type of integration. Now, the only difference would be is everyone on TikTok wants a YouTube channel so that they can make money. And so YouTube has this huge opportunity because now, as of February, anyone that's posting short form content, they're sharing the revenue with YouTube as well. So now they're able to make money on their shorts, they're able to make money on their long form videos, and it's a win-win. So to say that your content strategy on TikTok would work on YouTube, I wouldn't necessarily say that it would. Okay. It all depends on the audience. It all depends on the type of content. And then two, the approach, because you're able to do things, you're able to post a lot of the same stuff over and over again on TikTok, and a lot of people do, and they go from there. Well, YouTube doesn't allow you to do that. That's called duplicate content. They're not going to allow you to create duplicate content. They want you to have unique content. And so your strategy might be different. The content might be similar. But I like to look at how are they watching the content and how they're going to engage. So if they're on YouTube, if it's the shorts feed, yes, TikTok might be similar, but everywhere else is not. They have to be, you're going to see a title and thumbnail, and there needs to be curiosity enough for them to click before they start to engage. And then you take the first few moments of the video and really hook them into your content.
And I love that. Let's go there. So what should people know, like from a content strategy standpoint, about what kind of content really resonates or engages and performs well on YouTube?
Yeah. So here's the thing. So many people really say, I'm going to make a video and I'm going to make it this most amazing video and it's going to engage so many people and it's going to go viral. And I'm like, well, who are you making the video for? Because if you don't know who you're making your video for, you're never going to connect with them on a deeper level, right? And the way that you bring value to someone in a video is you're going to either educate them, inspire them, or entertain them. That's the three type of things. And sometimes you're really good that you're able to do all three, but ultimately at the end of the day, you got to figure out the value proposition. But what speaks to me doesn't necessarily speak to you. And what speaks to you doesn't necessarily speak to me. And so you got to understand, how do you actually create the video in a way that it speaks to the right type of viewer? So what I do consistently, it doesn't matter if it's a student that I'm mentoring or my own personal channel or some client that I'm working with, we hone in on who's our ideal target avatar viewer. And I want to know what they're like, what they engage with, what their morning's like, through their day, what they do online, what they do offline, what they do from their psychographics of how they would connect and how they disconnect from things and what they actually like. And once you're able to do that, you create that avatar, then I believe that you can consistently hit value to them because you're speaking to them because you know them. And so let me kind of give it to your point of view. I would assume that you've been on stage before and you've made a presentation, right? Is that true?
No, I avoided that. I avoided it.
You avoided it. Why did you avoid it? That's the question.
I don't know. I feel like I'm warming up to it, but I used to be really shy. So it's a little incremental.
But most of the shy people do the most, like they perform really well, either in a podcast setting or, you know, in front of the stage. It's pretty crazy. But let me just put it at that point of view. So there's a lot of people that are probably listening to this that are they're doing content, right? They're all in content. And some of them are asked to speak on stages. Well, the difference would be is how you do a presentation. Because like if I was doing a presentation to entrepreneurs, I would do it completely different than I was doing it a presentation to some college students or some high school students or some students that are getting ready, or I'm sorry, some people that are getting ready to retire. Like you got to know your audience first, and then you actually need to know how to deliver that. Like how I deliver it to a teenager is completely different how I do it to someone that's a boomer, you know, baby boomer. Like there's no way. Like I need to be peppier and engage in these moments of juxtaposition with someone that's a Gen Zer versus a baby boomer. And so you got to know your audience. You need to understand how they bring value, and then ultimately, or how they'd find value, and then that's where you need to bring the value.
Awesome. I love it. Okay, great. So people are doing amazing content. They're connecting with their audience. And now they have this funny thing called an algorithm that tries to get between them. Any tips for people as far as like how to manage that?
Okay, so let's not be afraid of the big bad algorithm, because believe it or not, algorithms are 2012 and we're way past 2012. There's an AI that controls YouTube, and they've been doing it since 2013. And the AI has two objectives. Okay, number one, predict what the viewer wants to watch. And the second thing is keeping the viewer on the platform longer. Well, let's talk about the first one. Why would they want to predict what the viewer wants to watch? Well, if the viewer has satisfaction in what they're watching, they're going to stay on the platform longer, but they'll also come back because the value's there, right? And so YouTube's been doing that since 2013. Now, what YouTube looks at is the viewer. All they care about is what viewers do. Now, that's why I said it's really important to understand your ideal viewer before you make content. Because if it's something that's out of the viewer's realm that they want to engage with, they actually skip the video. So if they started watching your video and they like what you're doing, like, oh, I'm going to subscribe because I'm subscribing because I can't wait to see what they do next. And the next video is about something that they disconnected with, they're going to skip over that video instead of watching the video. And YouTube says, oh, they're very temperamental because they like this type of content, but they don't like this type of content. But this creator always keeps on putting out the content I don't like. Why would I want to recommend it to this person that only likes this type of content? And so being consistent in your value proposition and knowing what your channel is and what it's not is the most important thing.
Oh, I love that consistency. That's really awesome. Should YouTube be a part of everybody's strategy?
Well, no, I think there's certain people that they're not very creative when it comes to the video side. I think if you have a podcast, you should be on YouTube. I think that if you're trying to get your message out in the most impactful way, that's great. But some people, they just are hard to bring their value proposition, and they take more time in maybe blog posts that are impactful, and it takes a skill set and a willingness to be vulnerable, which a lot of people, they don't necessarily want to do that. And so I think the only way you will succeed is if your passion outpowers your fears.
Mm.
And when your passion outperforms your fears, that YouTube will actually do the hardest thing that anyone that's creating content is trying to do, which is getting more eyeballs on it. And if you're able to speak to them and bring that value to the viewer, YouTube will do its thing, which is have the video go out to the right person at the right time, because it's in its DNA. It's trying to do that. And if you're able to be consistent with it, then you're able to grow. So I wouldn't say it's for everyone, but if anyone's really seriously looking at the opportunity to get their message out and to build their brand, that's the only type of content strategy that makes sense to me. Because I think everything else is outdated, especially with the evolution of social media. It's just there's so much that's going on, and there's so many distractions. How do you get in front of them? Well, the best way to get in front of them is have the algorithm put your content in front of the right person instead of you trying to market to them.
I love that. I love so many things about that. I love that, to look at the algorithm as an asset and an ally, and that vulnerability and passion are really the things that are going to help you succeed at it more than a lot of the things that we think about when we think about content strategy. And you talk about passion. So I actually want to switch gears and talk about The Chosen. And this is so cool for so many different reasons. So you're executive producer of the Chosen. It was crowdfunded. It's released on its own app and platform. Basically, you self-published your own show and movie, which I think is so cool. Why did you and the producers and the creators of the show choose this route versus pitching it to Netflix or Apple or any other network?
Okay, so let's give some context to it. So about 6 years ago is when the idea was happening. And so my partner, Dallas Jenkins, we weren't partners at the time, but he went to these networks and says, hey, I have an idea for a TV show. And he got rejected. Nobody would partner with him. Nobody would even do it. And his passion to create this type of content didn't go away. He just became more surrendered. And everyone thinks, oh, I need this deal to do this, or I need someone to do it. Well, no, if you want to do something, you do it. You don't stick around and wait for someone to make you do it or help you do it. No, you do it. And so his desire was to make the show. And he tried every source. There are people turning them down left and right, right? So I saw a short film that he made for his church. And I go, oh man, this is really low budget. And I can see why. It was a short film for his church and they don't have a lot of budget, but it was so good. It was about the shepherd and his life and how he just wanted to learn about this Messiah. And he was like shepherds are like the lowliest of the low. And he was even the lowest shepherd in the totem pole, right? And he just had this desire, and it was about his journey, his life. And I loved the character development. I loved the way that he was interacting. I loved how genius it was written, that the shepherd was able to evolve and to be vulnerable. And I was connecting with him. I'm like, this is speaking to me. I'm like, whoever made this is great. And come to find out that you wanted to make a TV show. I'm like, about Jesus. I'm like, I'm all in. I'm a Christian. I'm all in. My passion for Jesus, my passion is for audience. And I met Dallas for the first time. And I said, this is the no exaggeration. I says, you want to make a TV show about Jesus, right? He goes, yes. I go, tell me, what is the best TV show of all time? And for me, it's Breaking Bad, right? I'm like, Breaking Bad is like the best TV show of all time. Like Vince Gilligan is the best writer. And he goes, Breaking Bad. I'm like, okay, why? And he broke it down and he's like, it's about decisions. It was about people's decisions and how they have a ripple effect, right? They have two choices or multiple choices. And the choice that they make, they don't know the impact when they're making them, but it's far greater than what they can ever imagine in a good or a good positive way or a negative way. And Breaking Bad is the spiraling effect of bad decisions and how it just keeps on compounding, right? And I go, yes. And then he started to share with the show. He goes, I don't want to do a show about Jesus. I said, wait, you said that you want to do a show about Jesus. He goes, no. I want to do about the show about the people that he impacted, about their lives. And I'm like, oh, sign me freaking up. I was like ready to go. And for me, like, I felt like I was in line to help him. And so I called my wife up. I says, hey, Just to let you know, I'm going to start a business and we're going to do a TV show about Jesus. And she goes, oh, that's nice, dear. I go, but we're going to spend a whole bunch of money making this happen because nobody wants to fund it. And she's like, whatever you want to do, and which is like, she's super supportive. But right then and there, I want to kind of explain what happened so you actually have some good context. And I think this is really important for anyone that's putting out content to the world. You have to understand what you are and what you're not. So what we did is Dallas and I started a business called The Chosen. We brought in some other partners later, but like he and I just started it. And we locked ourselves in an Airbnb for a couple of days and we tried to define what The Chosen will be. And we're talking about The Chosen TV series and The Chosen brand, our company, and what we're not. And we wanted to understand who our target avatar is. So everything I was telling you before, we did. We wanted to understand who's going to be the person watching it, but more importantly, who's going to watch it, but also help us fund it. And so we started to create this avatar, and we realized we are the avatar. We are the people that we needed to connect with. People that realize that Hollywood's never going to fund a show like this until they see an example of what the show can become, right? Because they veered off from that path a long time ago. And like, oh, it's not profitable, or Christian content is stinky and it sucks because they don't know how to do it because they just low budget, right? Well, we want to do a high quality show. It was like HBO quality, right? And it deserved it. So we just needed to create the messaging for that. And we wanted to see a show like that. And we knew others out in the world would want to see the show as well. So as we understood it, it was like creating our first content strategy, which was our origin story. How it all came about and why we're doing this and how they can get behind it. And then two, we started to create content that people can engage with. Now, here's the funny thing. You know me from YouTube, right? You would say yes. Okay.
Yes.
We didn't start on YouTube.
Oh.
Why? You want to know why? Because our ideal viewer was on Facebook, and it's a lot easier to share on Facebook. And we had minimal resources. And so we actually started on Facebook, growing on Facebook. In fact, we have like 3.2 million followers on Facebook and only 1.78 on YouTube. But we started on Facebook first. And we started our content strategy. We started our content marketing strategy of connecting with them. And for us, we created content before even the show comes out. We actually do anywhere between 48 to 60 pieces of unique content a week. We're a content producing machine. Well, it didn't all start that way, but we had a path of consistent communicating with our audience and creating value propositions of them getting behind the project. And once they're behind the project, they funded the project, and then it was producing the project. And we're doing behind the scenes of all that before it even came out, which was unheard of before. Now people are following us because we shattered the all-time crowdfunding record in film and television. And we're making movements where we're doing things that have never been done before. And we're breaking all these different records. And it was all because of our audience. We connected with our audience. We identify our audience early. We connected to them through content. And then we knew this, and this is the secret. I want everyone to understand this is the secret of growth. Okay. When you focus in on the one and you speak to the one, you speak it to the core, and you share something with them that you enlist them in it. 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes 8, 8 becomes 16, 16 becomes 32, and so on until you actually grow a passionate audience that cares for you. But the moment that you focus in on the group and lose sight of the one, you lose everything. So it's always going to the one. And I'm here to tell you, who teaches that better than anyone else? Jesus Christ. like he always went to the one. He focused in on the one. And so that's the beautiful aspect of the show. And so we're just basically doing what Jesus did in that point of view. And like we're showing the TV show in this unique light, but it's about that one person connecting to that one moment to really understand what he taught deeper. And so that is the most important thing about growing an audience. It's the most important thing about The Chosen. We just care about the one individual, and we don't care about everyone collectively. We just want to do it the one. And we know if we're taking care of that, then everything else will work out.
Derral, Holy moly, I've got like goosebumps all over. Wow, so profound, so powerful. Thank you so much for being with us today and sharing all this goodness and so inspiring, so very inspiring. Thank you for sharing this with us today.
And my pleasure.
Yeah, thank you all for being here. Thank you for those guys who are watching at home today and in the following days. Stay tuned for more great conversations from the future of content marketing, and we'll see you soon. Derral, thanks again. That was awesome.
All right, bye now.